Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the world of Cardano's ADA. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tapping the bell, selecting all the notifications, and you will stay up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, guys, you are missing a trick. Links in the description down below. It's completely free to join. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's the first place we go to notify you of the ins and the outs of everything that is happening here in the crypto space. So well worth checking that out. And if any of this video is alien to you, then it's probably worth just brushing up on your Elliott wave theory. We have released a course now, more details down in the Discord server. And basically it's a 21-part video course. It explains all the various different structures and things like that. So worth checking that out. If you're not into video material, then there's also a PDF available in a Discord server. It's 181 pages, bit of light reading on Elliott wave theory. Okay, let's jump on down into this. We'll keep it as brief as we can, whilst giving you all the kind of pieces of information I think are very important. So before we talk about this larger daily chart here, I want to actually just focus in on this hourly chart. Okay, so here we have Cardano paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is our data source. And as you can kind of see here in yellow, it's a big A, B, and C structure coming down into these low ranges. On the white area here, you can kind of see these 5 waves coming down. Okay, and what we're going to do is we just need to adjust things a little bit here so that we can see where that is going. So first of all, we're going to measure this distance, make sure that everything is still following the rules and nothing has changed, which all looks pretty good still. Okay, and yeah, so that's all good. So then our wave 4 has actually come up a little bit higher than expected up here. Okay, and now we're starting to come on down. Okay, so our targeted range has changed ever so slightly here. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure that distance just using the Fib retracement tool. We're just going to move this in here and we are going to adjust our target. Now I'm going to put this on the highest possible point. We're very close to it, so we'll see if this actually does come on in soon. And obviously there is a slightly lower target here as well. Okay, so basically what we are talking about here is 29.84 to about 29.57 on this lower side here. So 29.84 to 29.59. Okay, and I'm going to leave the little area just down here. 1-to-1 ratio is slightly different, so we're going to go ahead and just map that in. Okay, so if we grab this first movement and we move this over to our B wave high point, our 1-to-1 ratio is down here at 29.51. So I'll go ahead and draw a dashed line in on that one just there, and I'll just go ahead and make that yellow so we can see the differences. And I'll also just mark up this area here as 29.59. And then I'll remove these 2 fibs. Okay, so let me just walk you through what's going on here. So essentially our final 5th wave movement to the downside will end somewhere between these 2 levels. The minimum expectation is going to be that 1.236 up here at 29.84 cent. That's going to be where I think that 5th wave is going to end. You can see that we could come down a little bit lower and it would get very, very close to this 1-to-1 ratio, with our 1.618 expectation being 29.59 cents. And obviously our 1-to-1 on the big yellow ABC structure would come in at 29.51 cents. So you can see that this is kind of where we're heading in the case of Cardano. Now, this would basically be a 5-wave structure point, and we would expect 3 waves to the upside once this is done. I'm not expecting anything more from here. I'm not expecting this to go down into an impulsive structure. This is just a corrective ABC, but it is ending in 5 waves. So we would think of this as a corrective structure that would be 3, 3, 5. Okay, so it's a simple 3-3-5 corrective structure. So nothing more than that. From here, I would expect 3 waves up minimum. Where that goes, we don't know, but you know it's going to be 3 waves or 5 waves, so you need 2 options. So we know that that's going to happen. Now, for this particular say ABC structure, we have our invalidation line. Basically, to be fair, it doesn't really matter at this point. This would have been only really relevant early on. It was set at 32.9 cent, but obviously by the time we've moved down here anyway, we've already hit the minimum expectations on the C wave movement. It's only really the 5 waves. So for thinking about the 5-wave structure, our invalidation levels are kind of irrelevant now. They kind of have already kind of met most of their things. So we'll have to kind of bin this one off at some point in the very near future. So from our momentum indicator, we're already down here in the ground, so we're starting to see a little bit of a bounce, and you know, yeah, we got very, very close to our 29.84 cent already in the last 1 hour. It'd be interesting to kind of see. On the 4-hourly chart here, you can kind of see this even more in detail. We also have our 200 EMA there. You can kind of see getting rejected a bit. And we are heading down into this bigger area. Okay, the 27.35 to 28.67. Okay, that's still valid. And, you know, if we kind of zoom out of this, you can kind of see why it's kind of this corrective structure just taking us down into this blue 5-wave movement, and it's going to be an ending diagonal in my opinion there. So everything's on the 4 hours looking good. We still have some room to the downside. Now, one of the key things that we can see here is that anywhere around here I think will be a really good place to be dollar cost averaging, you know, where we are right now at about 30 cent all the way through to these lows of 27 and 28. Like, all of this seems to be a really good area, and the reason is that I think we're going to be seeing a larger move to the upside at some point very soon for the price action of Cardano ADA. Now, over here, you can see that we're oversold on the monthly, oversold on the weekly, oversold on the daily, oversold on the 8-hour, not oversold here on this 4-hour chart, but we are oversold on the 1-hour chart. So looking at it like progressively, we were in pretty good positions on these timeframes. So if I come over into this, you can kind of see that we're down here oversold. On the 12-hour, we're oversold. 16 hours, we're oversold. 20 hours, oversold. Daily chart, obviously we're only just here in this oversold area, so there's still some time potentially to the downside. I don't think things are going to be instantaneous or anything like that, but definitely making some progression here for the price action of Cardano on the smaller time frames. Now, if I come over to this one here, we can also see the bigger macro piece. And we are, of course, heading down into these lows. Now, I have this kind of bear market low point kind of scoped out towards 22.23 cent. That hasn't changed. That's still very much the case here. But doesn't necessarily mean it has to come down all this way. It just seems to be the area that I think we are likely to visit at some point. But as I said earlier, right, it does look like it's going to be a significant move to the upside in the coming days. Hard to get that timed exactly right. So that's why I'm saying like dollar cost averaging are in around these kind of low points that we're currently at does seem to be making a fair amount of sense for Cardano's ADA. Whether there's going to be some fundamental news that drags it a little bit higher, or whether or not it's just going to be pure traders that are going to be taking that from where it is today up to those slightly higher levels, in my opinion. It's one of those. And do pay attention to kind of, what's going on with the bigger macro landscape. Bitcoin, I think, doesn't necessarily marry up with what Cardano's ADA is saying here, for example. Bitcoin, to me, looks like it needs to go down a bit further, and we could see some bleeding there. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't imagine that Cardano's ADA would follow suit, but I don't think it's going to be as badly impacted as maybe Bitcoin, for example, because it's already in a very, very good position for a move upwards. So I would expect that if Bitcoin does take a bit of a tumble with some of the stuff that's going on this week to the downside, Cardano would follow that a little bit, and then eventually would see a bit of a corrective move to the upside. But I think Cardano might actually get a better time of that correction upwards. Now, one of the things about this C wave movement here, it does look like, to me anyway, that it's ending in 5 waves, and it looks like we might be interesting to see how this kind of develops over time here. So one of those, keep a close eye on all of this, but for now I think we should be expecting a little further to the downside, but some huge potential to the upside on the price action of ADA. So on the immediate future, we are looking to kind of finish things off a little bit to the downside, but other than that, I think everything is lining up quite nicely. I'm going to leave this video right there though. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you have not yet joined us in Discord, then why not check it out, linked in the description down below. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.